Gardening is 100% enjoyment. There's one thing that takes away a lot of the joy of gardening, and that's weeds. So why do we have weeds anyway? Well, what happens is the sun's rays strike the earth, and it actually is a destructive force. There's no way for the energy to be harnessed unless through plants. Plants are set up with a process of photosynthesis so that it can actually take the sun's energy and convert it into some usable form. And this is why when you see somebody plow their field and just leave it completely alone, within a couple weeks it's covered up with weeds. Now, not all weeds are created equally. There's different kinds of weeds and they spread different ways. Some kinds are annuals that blow in from seeds. You can suffer annuals with a good heart, but don't let them go to seed. The old adage says, 1 year's seeding is 7 years weeding. Other kinds of plants are perennials, and they spread through roots. These kinds, don't let them take a foothold in your garden or you'll deal with them forever. Eradicate these things on site. All right, so when removing weeds out of your garden, you got to use the right tool for the right job. Now, weeds that are right around your little plants, you can't just go in there with a big hoe and just start hacking away. You need something small. And so for that, I recommend a cobra head type of weeder. It's got a sharp point at the end and you can just drive into the ground and get right around your little plants. Failing this, just use your hands to get right in there. Larger areas, the ubiquitous hoe, everybody knows about the hoe, drives a flat blade in and just tries to destroy everything. Not very effective. There's much better technology out there nowadays. One thing that's particularly nice is these triangle type hoes, razor sharp, small, thin hose with an angle so it goes right underneath the surface of the soil and literally severs the roots of all of your weeds. And on the same line of that is this is called a stirrup hoe. These are commonly available. Another excellent tool for getting in. This is especially good for long rows. We were trying to get between the rows in your vegetable garden. Great hoe. For larger areas, you're going to need something a lot more powerful. You could rototill or plow up the whole field. There's other issues with that because turning up the undisturbed soil will bring up new weed seeds to the surface. You might end up actually making your problem worse, make your issue worse off. So really, my favorite tool is the propane torch. This is called the Weed Dragon, and it just absolutely flames and destroys every kind of plant life that it hits, and it's organic too. Now, another option that you can consider is keeping animals. Animals are actually quite useful for keeping weeds under control. For example, goats will eat big brushy things, yaupon bushes and things like that. Chickens will follow behind. They'll eat any seeds that they find, and they'll even eat some green grass as well. Ducks, geese do the same thing. And also pigs. Consider pigs as a last resort. A garden completely overrun with perennial weeds, you can put a couple of pigs in there and let them spend a season. They will uproot and destroy and eat every single perennial root there is, and they'll manure it to boot. All right, so as you can see, this bed is full of plants, and as a result, it makes a natural barrier for the sunlight, and it also keeps the ground shaded, which helps conserve the moisture as well. Okay, so as you can see, I don't have enough brassicas growing in here to completely cover up this whole area, and therefore this area had become overrun with weeds. So we had to weed this area out, pull all of the weeds over, and then mulch. And this mulch is going to form a nice protective blanket against the surface of the soil to prevent any weeds from coming up. And in addition, it'll help keep the moisture intact under the soil. So to summarize, never leave any soil bare and uncovered. Use smart hand tools designed for the task of removing weeds, and consider soliciting help from your animals. So with these tips, you should be well on your way to getting your weed problem under control. Thank you for joining us.